What's going on, YouTube, and wherever else this video might be played? It is your man in black, the werewolf himself, the furless crossbreed, existing in this mortal realm as best as I can, living as one of you, the Badwolf. Now, nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. So let's take it off and live a little in the light. Merchandise by Badwolf Entertainment. Actually, it's not called entertainment, but anyway. What's going on, guys? Appreciate you. Let's turn the music down a little bit more. Some royalty-free music, because you know what? We ain't trying to get seed on it. So what is this particular video about? Now, if this is your first time here, don't mind the theatrics. I just like to bring a little humor to the business table. As your favorite non-belligerent, non-combatant truth United States and owner and royal leader of Levitica and board member of Levitica National Government, I am your humble and gracious host. As always, if you see anybody who's going to give my information and like this is whatever else, please report them for bullying and slandering, because we don't play that here. It's all just good business. Without further ado, let's get into it. So what is this particular video about? Well, that's an interesting thing. So first time here, hit that bell, like, subscribe. As always, you guys know the drill. Check out blacksite32.com, which is my particular site. Find all the goodies, all the free files, all the stuff that they don't want you to know. Well, some of them do, some of them don't. But anyway, you have a right to it. So, as always, nothing here is illegal or immoral or whatever else. How you use the information is on you. But I digress. What is this video about? We're going to be talking about the new process. Now, it's not brand new, but I haven't seen anybody talking about it. And I realized that though I've been talking about it for quite some time, I never really made a video specifically about it. So let's get going. A lot of these people out here, well, first of all, let's talk about one or two things before we really get into it. I'm sorry. Stop paying a lot of these so-called gurus tons and tons of money. If you can't get everything from somebody offering this information for $700 to $1,000 at the most, then you need to learn how to do it on your own. Or heck, check out my channel, because for that kind of money, I'll probably come and wash your car and give you a free consultation, might make you some breakfast. You know, I'm just saying. All right, you can do what you want to do, but remember, all this information, even the stuff I sell to you, keeping it G, is out there somewhere for free. You guys just don't know where to go and look for it. So I give them 80 to 90% of away of it for free through the files on blacksite32. These videos I charge for my time, and certain files that I have made from scratch that I know work because I use it. I'm not reselling somebody else's work out there. All right. There's a reason why all the states and the municipalities and law enforcement, all of them watch my stuff, because they want to know what's going on too. And yes, I have corrected the statuses of agents, federal police, sheriffs, people from the White House, various other organizations, we'll say, and fraternities, some secret, some public, have all contacted me. I keep your information private. I'm not going to tell your names or what you tell me. I've received tips and tricks and techniques from a lot of them, okay? Because I tell what I can say in the public, and other things are kept private. So that being said, let's jump into it, all right? So a lot of these gurus, shamans, and whatever else, and people rip off artists and scam. One of the things that all of them have in common is that they're like, well, you need to send this file in. You need to do all this. And I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of having told people it's good to send out your affidavits, and I'm not saying that you still shouldn't. But if we look at it from a business perspective, let me help you to understand what's going on. When we send out these affidavits, though they as public officials are trustees, they're supposed to accept them and make it part of the record. That doesn't mean they like it, because to them, it slows down their normal day of business. They don't have a special person sitting there going, hey, answer this for these types of private persons. No, they just want to deal with the public. That's where their bread and butter is, okay? Let's just be honest. So they don't really want your revocations of election. They don't want your affidavit of status, of truth, of health, of life, of lived life claim, blah, 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 blah. They don't. So what I'm going to introduce here, drop some more breadcrumbs, and thank you to all the other good channels out there that do take my information and throw a shout out to me. Thank you guys for keeping it real. That's what love is. That's what family is, not these people who snatch my information or other people's information and then kind of go, they're going to scurry back to their channels or whatever else and take all the claim for it. Just be real, okay? Throw it out there. There's no disrespect in it, because when one of your viewers, like Brandon Joe Williams, one of his people, hey, I heard about you on his channel. He appreciates your information, you know, this, that, and the other. I'll throw it right back. That's a community. That's what those powers that be out there don't want us to do, is to work together. All right. So down to business. I know I said this like the third time. Sorry, I just wanted to give you guys some background on this. So one of the things that we're trying to do is you have to understand that you were born in the private. In being born in the private as a national of the United States, or if you want to be known locally as a state citizen, then if you're born in Florida, you are a Floridian. New York, New Yorker, California, Californian. The government GPO Styles Manual 2016. Look it up. Go to the part where it says nationalities. Nationalities is long or plural for national. They refer to us in that section as natives of the states, because we're natives. All of us are Native Americans. You're just a Native, like I'm a Native American with African ancestry. Okay. So let's bring it together. So when you were in the private, our parents gave them information, or you went to them and they asked you to prove residency. You joined their corporation. You joined their PMA, Private Members Association. But it's so big that it's called the public. You've become a private member. Now, the government, the federal government, they know stuff is going on, but they don't use these things. They have their own systems, their own IDs, their own jurisdiction under the as my lovely man, Mr. Percy, says, these documents. Okay, our government operates under this. Okay, your Bill of Rights, your Constitution, your Declaration. All these are how they move. The people put this in place, the ultimate power in the United States of America. Now, if you contact the Department of Immigration and you do a FOIA request, they're going to tell you, we have no information on the 14th Amendment, you being a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, because you did not naturalize here. The states gave up that power way back in the day to leave it in the hands of the federal government. So the United States corporation, i.e. the state ofs, cannot naturalize. So if you're private, per the United States Supreme Court ruling that the United States corporation in relationship to the United States of America is in fact foreign under UCC 9-307, that means that we were technically not 14th Amendment U.S. citizens from birth. We were nationals and state citizens from birth. So how did they bring us in? Well, because under law, 8 U.S.C. 1101-22A, all U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals, and all nationals are U.S. citizens. Under 8 U.S.C. 1101-22B, all U.S. citizens are U.S. nationals, but not all U.S. nationals are U.S. citizens. So they brought us in by code. So because we have an affiliation on the upper level, they say, well, we can just slide you over into that, but you must prove residency, because if they do it, it's fraud. They're forcing you in. So they had to have your permission. Once you prove residency, you went from a private sector state citizen, aka national of the United States of America, and were converted into a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, a resident. So you were a non-resident from their perspective. That being said, they took your given name and turned it into a legal entity, a legal person, a person in their juridical hemisphere. your nom de guerre in Latin, which means war name, or your, as they call it, a public transmitting utility. They gave you a trust, a business trust, if you will, that can be used for public or private on how you declare it. And they've been telling you, oh, yeah, you're just a U.S. citizen like the rest of us. Go ahead and put that down. Well, who were you told that by? Another legal person, your public trustee, who misinformed you and didn't tell you. You can choose public or private, citizen or national. Now, did they do that on purpose, or were they just misguided? Or maybe they didn't even know themselves. And I know you guys like to watch this stuff, so there you go. Look it up. Ask your bosses some questions. Make them feel uncomfortable. Tell them you want to talk to them in their private capacity. All right. So all this time, we've been trying to pull, and this is how I was taught as well, pull that legal name out. Wait, whoa. Let's break it down. Hold on. I don't want to pull my legal name, from my understanding, and hear me out of their jurisdiction, because that legal name is a resident. That resident has benefits and privileges that I might want to use, but when I want to use them. But if you ever need to go and use them, and you're claiming that you're private, and you want to turn your name private, that legal person, they're never going to get rid of that name throughout the entire system. It's always going to be somewhere, and they're always going to be able to use it against you. So if you need public services, you're not going to get them, because then you're operating outside of their jurisdiction. Or if they do provide services like the police or the fireman or the whatever, they're going to probably send you a bill. You have no contract with them. They have a contract for the public, not the private. And as far as police officers are concerned, and I've got friends and family who are, and I've done this process for a number of them, most of them don't want their name put out there because they have a job to do, and I get it. And that's their private business anyway. Nothing that is written anywhere, and they can't, does it say they administer over the private. It's the public. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have jurisdiction if you allow them to pull, or if you allow you to pull, let them pull you into the public by speeding, breaking most of the laws, almost any of them, but actual laws, not statutes. You can't take away somebody else's freedom, liberty, rights to privacy, damage anybody, or do commercial damage. But if you can self-govern, you're good to go. They can't say nothing. But let's get back to the point. The point is, leave the legal name. And I'm not saying still yet don't send out your affidavits, but let's correct that. If you're going to send out your affidavits, and I can look back now and see how really not wrong, but wrong we were, some of these gurus who didn't know any better. Let's use my name, the government name. So once my mom came up with the name James C. Lovett, it was private. That was called a given name. It was then tainted and given to the hospital, who then gave it to the state of, and they transmuted it into all capitalized letters to capitalize on the name. It has become business, legal, profitable. That issue of parchment, that document, which is also a negotiable instrument or a bond, which does have a CUSIP number, which has a value internally. We don't know if legally we can have access to that or not. Might want to find a broker friend and ask some questions. Educational information only. But that name in all capitalized letters is a legal person, and I am the authorized agent over it. If I send the state of and whoever else letters saying I'm not that legal person, they're like, bro, are you slow or whatever? Are you off? Because that legal name, though it's not living, is a legal person, and it is yours. They don't own it. They've never taken credit for it. You're the authorized agent for it. They provided it, but no one's laid a commercial claim to it. This is one of the reasons why people do the U.C.C. or you do a trademark, copyright on all your stuff. Now you own it. Now you can dictate who uses it and how they use it, and if they or whoever should be making money off of it. So looking at it now, I can honestly say, why do you want to pull it out? No, seriously. Because if you ever need their services, you're going to, if you want the stimulus, you want the whatever that comes along with it, you still want to be able to vote or do whatever, then you have it. What if we have a new way that we've already been kind of using, but nobody pointed it out? It's what they've been using. So we need to understand how to do commerce better. People, create a new given name. Create a new private persona. Create a new nom de guerre, a new straw man, one that's private. So instead of me using James C. Lovett as which was a given name, now tainted into a legal person, why not just have that to be able to use and now have two different avenues to be able to navigate my ship under whichever banner or whichever name I want to use when I want to use it? So what if I went to using James Charles of the House of Lovett? That whole thing is my name. But what if I wanted to use Lord James Morbius? Now, some people go, well, yeah, but why don't you just get it? You can do that. You just get it changed at the court. You could. But I don't want to use if my intention is to have a private side, I don't need to ask the court to change my name. That is for legal reasons. That legal person, James C. Lovett, all caps name. I don't want to change that. Leave that. That's fine. I'll be James Lovett when I need to be James Lovett. But if I create Lord James Morbius or whatever else, because you're over 18, your age of majority, and you should have declared that. If not, you can still act on it. You move like you're smart, they'll start to respect you that you're smart. If you don't, and you're quiet, then you're mute, and you get your porridge. There you go. Okay? Resident, ward of whatever zip code you're on, ward of the state. So create whatever name you want, or create a private trust, an unincorporated association, 508c1a, faith-based organization, FBO, foreign trust, whatever it is. Either you can be that entity and that name, or you create one that you then use also as a mask and operate privately. Why go through the hassle? And I'm not saying still yet don't do the other way. I just want you guys to be informed. You should be grown and all should be watching, or well, watching my videos would be great. Watch all of them. But you all should be age of majority. And if you haven't declared it, then you need to start walking like it. Be private. Create something private. I'm pretty sure the states out there and whoever else who watched my videos like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Well, we wouldn't have to do this if you guys would have just told us how to get down from the first place, but that's right. You guys don't have an obligation to inform us about the private side because you don't control it. Straight out of Compton, crazy mother named Badwolf. Yeah, what up, dog? All right, let's have a little fun. So that's the whole thing, guys, is that you have to create a private side. They gave you a public legal business. Well, create a private lawful entity, right? Instead of trying to pull your name out and pull out all the benefits and privileges, leave it there. Use it when you decide. Create a private name or a private entity with a different name or both, however you want to move. It's your kingdom or queendom or whatever. Transdom, queerdom, polydom, whatever, wherever we're at now. I don't even know where we're at. Create it. Do it. You have the right. You have the privacy and the lawful ability All they can do is operate underneath the legal entity. So create a new entity, make it private, make it tax exempt, file for tax exemption, create it as a tax exempt entity. Now, once you've done that, now you can start to expand on it. Now you can use that to have a whole nother credit profile. Who told you had to have one? Go ahead. Nobody? You didn't ask? You didn't assume? Well, I'm here to tell you, okay, freaking bastards. No, I'm just kidding. That you have the right. So create another profile. All you're doing is creating it, whether it's a trust or whatever else. All of your stuff should be in a trust, an individual trust. None of them done with your legal first name, last name, all name, none of that. Create a separate, unique identity. Otherwise, you're transferring it back underneath the state-created trust. So from there, you're going to want to add yourself to like your own credit cards as an authorized user with that new name. Create your own new private ID. Go to idcreator.com. That's where I use. Stop using for your private side the zip code, 2-digit abbreviation, things of that nature. I've made videos on IDs and things of that nature. If you want to move your stuff into the private, move it to the private. If you don't want to, you don't have to. This is all education, all right? I'm just providing tools that you guys can use to move a little bit better in life. From there, you can get accounts, credit lines, whatever you want to start with that whole private thing. And let's say you do, for some reason, want to interface that private side with the world. Well, then, if you didn't already get an EIN for it, you can get an EIN for it under the same name. Now, Lord James Morbius, I go to the irs.gov, and I've been hearing a lot of people out there, oh, I just got it through the state. Cost me a couple $100 and this. What do you think the federal government's there for? The IRS. The IRS issues free EINs and ITINs and all that. Why? I think some of you guys are not watching all my videos. And I know I've got a lot. I think we're up to 1,000 now. I get it. But it's like going to school. Do you guys want to learn this or not? And if you want a shortcut to it, like the lady today, actually, I was booked all day today, which I've been booked almost every day. She did a consultation and got all that information. She was like, I was just like, no, do it like this. If you want direction, you get a consultation and I will give you the shortcut version of it. Other guy today, he what did he do? He had changed his name on the court level, which is okay. But I asked him, why'd you do that? He said, oh, I wanted a private name. How is it private if you've gone to the legal authorities to ask? So you're asking, which means to ask the king, to kiss the king's, you get it, to change your legal name, because then you just made a new name, more so private, but still legal. He was like, oh, yeah, I've made videos on this. Watch them. Okay. Or do a consultation. Now, once again, guys, I think my consultations are what? Still $75 for an hour, $55 for a half hour, $20 for 3 questions. That is more than reasonable compared to most people out there. I do book up 3-4 days in advance, so just keep that in mind. But will I ever raise the price? I might get to 100, maybe 120 or something like that at some point in time, because it's well worth it. I'm well worth it, better than 90% of the gurus out there. And I'm just a guy down the street who knows these things because I do these things. I live this life. I don't pretend or sell other people's information. But if you guys are paying like a couple $100 to talk to somebody, make sure you like really look at that person, see if they seem like they know what they're talking about. Anybody can read a book and just talk some stuff and say, okay, yeah, that's what you do. Like I keep hearing all these horror stories and I'm like, oh my God, like So just be careful who you get your information from. And I don't even care if it's mine or the next man's or woman's or, my guy Bibble, the alien. Because Bibble here, he be doing consultations too. And he charges a lot. So don't use Bibble's service. Sorry, bro. My bad. It's my channel. All right. So make sure you guys are not getting ripped off out there, because that's ridiculous what I'm hearing from some people, and it's really sad. First, get the information for yourself. Try to find it for free. Try to get a recommendation or referral as who to talk to. If you're seeing my video, if I have it, I know it, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I'll put you in the right direction. I will refer you to somebody who's not going to rip you off. And if I find out somebody is ripping my people off or not providing the service, it will be terminated. So if there's some reason why you had a bad experience with one of my people, one of my members of my circle, our circle, if you will, let me know. That's how we do it. But we have thousands of satisfied customers. We have a 99 or 98.9% success rate and satisfaction. Okay. Nobody can promise to guarantee anything, but I just want you guys, and that's why I haven't really raised my rates in all these years, because I want to be accessible to the average person. I don't want to be so out of touch with the average person, because I'm just the average person. And yeah, though I'm starting to get YouTube famous and infamous and people on the street are recognizing me, which is a little weird, might have something to do with the hat. And once again, if you guys like any of my merchandise, feel free to reach it on blacksite32.com at the pro shop, or down below. If it's not down below, then you're going to want to go to James C Lovett on spreadshop.com. One of those. You can find it on there. And you can also get your own free store there, do your own merchandise. So, but yeah, also on Blacksite 32, guys, all of my social media channels are there, so you can make sure it's really me. My YouTube, which I've got 5, 6, or 7 YouTube channels now on different topics. TikTok, Telegram, WhatsApp, Rumble, Think BitChute, Odyssey, Facebook, and whatever else. If you guys need resources, a mobile notary, so you don't have to get off the couch, hit my cousin up, Latia, information. You want to know how to build a trust, or you want to buy one of my trusts? Blacksite 32. You need help with your mortgage, your rent, your house, whatever, food, Blacksite 32. Go to the resource page, look around. We've helped hundreds of people who have been like, Wolf, you are the man. Thank you. You saved my house. You saved my family. Saved it. So I'm trying to put all the benefits, privileges, freedoms, rights, all that together out there for you guys. Some are state programs, some are federal, some are private. Okay. So anyway, get back to it. So create your private side, put your stuff in trust, and live privately. I mean, there's really not much more to it. Don't let a lot of these gurus out here tell you need to do a lot of these processes with these forms that you can't really do. You're putting some of that stuff is illegal and it's fraud. None of that stuff is condoned here, man. I told you guys about those 1099s a long time ago. I've made videos on it. I just said, hey, you guys got to be careful with that stuff. If you read the fine print, they're going to tell you that you really need to be a banking institution. Okay. So be careful with the information you get. Not all of it's good. Just because somebody fits the part or talks the talk, sounds good. Do your own investigation. Contact the IRS. They have a free 800 number. Contact the state, contact whoever, whatever department it is, instead of doing something dumb. Hey, can I use this file for that? Now, there are some things that they're not going to tell you. Let's just cut to the chase. They've told me this. They're not going to tell you what internally goes on with the CUSIP numbers. Now, we know because we can look up what is the CUSIP number for. It's a security. But they themselves are not going to tell you how to use it or whatever else, because that's their business. Sure, your name might be on it, but show me something where I have to tell you about it. They're only obligated to do what's written legally. If it's not there, doesn't exist. So they're not going to necessarily lie, but we'll just say I've seen some agencies shred the truth a little bit to fit the gray area. And as it states in law, that which is similar and not the same is not the same, though it is similar, which means legally it's something different. Which is why if you change your name even by one letter or number or symbol or logo, it has become a new, unique entity. No longer the same as what it came from and not underneath the same jurisdiction. So that's how you guys live privately. From there, if you want to create your own nation, make a private nation. You want to create your own ID, your own, put your stuff, you can do it. Keep in mind that though you still will probably need a legal ID if you're going to do something legal, like going to a commercial business, maybe even going to a bar or whatever else, because they want to see a state provided because they're regulated by the state. So one of the requirements is that they need to see a state or federal ID. So you will need that. That's about it, guys. I could ramble, but that's no fun, and you guys got stuff to do. Once again, thank you for taking the time to watch my video, supporting the channel. Whether it's just a like or an appreciation or sharing it, or the donations now that are starting to come in that you can also do on blacksite32.com. Thank you guys in advance for that. And there's been a couple more. I mean, I'd probably say we got like probably 5 or 6 donations in this last 4 weeks, which is more than usual. So thank you guys for that. Once again, like I said, keeping it real, you don't make a ton of money on YouTube unless you get to anywhere between probably about 80 to 150,000 people. Then you're getting some cheddar. But it also is, if you noticed or haven't noticed, I don't really do a whole lot of advertising. I don't hold up people's products, and I don't have video games and this and that in the beginning of my videos. And why is that? Because I know I don't care for them. I know you guys don't care for them unless it's something you really wanted or needed. So I try to keep it like how we started, but that means I'm turning down paychecks, to be honest. And that's what I have been doing. So yeah, you might start to see 1 or 2 more, because if the donations don't come in, like literally, I probably couldn't pay 1 bill on the donations that have come in within the last month, to be honest. But it's not your problem. All I'm saying is that if you want to support, you can send in donations at blacksite32.com. Once a month or weekly, monthly, you can set that all up through there, or you can support by joining the Badwolf group on YouTube, and then you guys get to see all behind the scenes videos and things I talk about, upcoming things before I make a video on them, and support monthly with whatever level you want to get on. $1.99 a month, $24.99, anywhere in there will get you access to all the stuff. And remember, we only get like 50% of whatever that monthly subscription is, just to keep it truthful with you. Like I said, we don't hide nothing here. There's no reason to hide it, no reason to lie, no reason to play games. But this is just education and information. What you do with it is on you. So once again, create your private side. It doesn't mean you still not need to do affidavits, but if you're going to do an affidavit, make it like this. I, James C. Lovett, in all capitalized letters, know that, I, Lord James Morbius, or, is my given name. I, however, was born in this state as a state citizen, known as a Floridian, and I am the owner and operator through copyright or common law or whatever over the name James C. Lovett, which is a state-created and provided trust. Now you're sending out the right affidavit. In the old days, we'd say, oh, I, James C. Lovett, in lowercase lettering, which is true, am not James C. Lovett in all uppercase lettering. This is true because lowercase is the capitis minimus, no loss of rights, private living person, given name. All uppercase lettering is capitis diminutio maxima, which is Latin for capitalized diminishment to the max of your status. So full loss of rights and status and house and name when in that format. The Romans used to use it to identify slaves. And then upper and lower, capitis medius, is still yet, might as well be the all caps, because in for a penny and for a pound. So that's not wrong, but they're going to look at, oh, that's semantics. So, okay, let's take away the baby's bottle in this particular scenario and go, okay, well, then I'm going to create a new persona, one private. Me, the living person, is a non-resident. I'm informing you of that. And James Lovett in all caps is still a resident. And so I will put on that mask and use it, because it's no different than if I open up a business right now and I call it Dreamtology, whatever. And I say that I am Mr., Bob Smith or whatever, but I operate and own Dreamtology. It's the same thing. You're operating a legal entity. When you get a business from the state or the IRS, I highly recommend the IRS over the state. No offense, just keep it real because it's free. When I get it, it's going to come in the all capitalized format, because that distinguishes the living from the dead, or the private from the public, and it as an entity created by the state, a non-living vessel to be navigated. Okay. So that's it, guys. Take care. Enjoy your day. Badwolf is out. You guys know the drill. Hit the tap, the smack, the lick, the kiss, the whatever. Bell icon, thumbs up, all the good jazz. I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy your days and make sure you love yourself and take care of others. But if you have to walk away from somebody who's toxic, even if you love them, let them go. If they were really yours, they'll come back and they'll be better for it. And they'll understand. And if not, well,